Welcome back to the homestead. Today, Cowboy had got up and fried a little bit of ham that was left in the refrigerator, and I'm going to take what's left of it. It's browned, and I've chopped it up, and I'll show you here in a minute. I've chopped an onion. I've got celery washed, ready to chop. I have carrots ready to peel and chop those, and I've also got my dried beans, and I've measured out a half a cup of dried beans per quart, and that's all the dry beans I'm going to put in there. But I'm going to wash those beans out really well, go through them, make sure there's no stones. Then I will go ahead and start layering my vegetables, my beans, my ham. I've got hot water going on the stove over here. My pressure canner is ready to turn on, and I'm going to stick together just 7 quarts of some really good produce and leftover ham that will go on my root cellar shelf down the road for some good soup. So follow along. So here you can see I've got 1 jar. I've got some carrots on the bottom. I put some onions, some celery, a few more carrots, a little bit of ham, and in between there you can see my half a cup of dried beans. So that's all I'm going to put in this right now, and I'm going to fill it up to the inch head space with hot water, and that will go into the pressure canner and can for 90 minutes. So we'll come back after I get these all filled. Put the beans in. Put some celery in. Put some onion in, maybe a few more carrots, and then I'll top it off with a handful of our ham. Then I will add, I'll probably put a teaspoon of salt in here, or maybe half a teaspoon, since I've got the ham in there already, the smoked ham. I don't want it too salty. So I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of salt in here and then fill it up with water and be ready to process. So I'm back. I have 7 quarts of my carrots, my half a cup of dried beans that are not soaked, they're just washed. I've got some celery, I've got some onion, I've got a little bit of ham, and I've put a teaspoon of salt in each quart jar. So then all we're going to be doing is adding the hot water, and I'm going to pull my water a little closer. It's boiling, it's hot. I've got the water just warming up into my pressure canner right now, so when I set them in there it's not quite a shock. And I'm going to fill it up with water, hot water, to an inch head space. Those beans in there are going to swell up. Okay. And another thing I want to do is take this and just stir it around a little bit. Just not even stir it, just kind of debubble it. I will take a little bit of vinegar in my water. And wipe the top off of the jar so it's ready to put a seal on it. And this will go into the pressure canner for 90 minutes. And I'll show you when it's all done. Well, folks, I have my soup mixture in the pressure canner, building steam and pressure. And I am starting something new. I have never ever done the kombucha, and my little starter kit came in the mail. And I've got a little kit with the SCOBY in. I've got a gallon jar. I've got my sugar out. I have my pH strips out. And right now I am soaking my tea bags. I've got 6 tea bags in a couple cups of water, and they need to steep another 8 minutes or so. But then I'm going to be back and I'm going to try to do this step by step and take you along with me, and hopefully I get this thing started right and going and that I really enjoy it. So if you've got any tips for me, comment below. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong that you see that I'm doing, or if there's a tip that you know of. Give me some help, because this is the first time. I don't want to ruin my SCOBY. And so I'm going to let this tea bags steep for a little while, and we'll come back later. Okay, I'm going to take out my tea bags out of here, my hot water. My hands are clean. I tried to make sure I've scrubbed them when I handle anything here, because we have a live creature going. Okay, my water's still warm. I'm going to go ahead and dump in my sugar and let that start to dissolve. And right now my pressure canner is at the state where I've put on the wobble arm. The wobble, not arm, just the wobble. And I need to go back in real soon to the kitchen and set my timer for 90 minutes, but I wanted to get this sugar dissolving, and we're going to let it sit here and dissolve while I go do that, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. My pressure canner is set for 90 minutes, and my tea steeped, and now my sugar, I believe, is all dissolved. And I want to read to make sure that I'm doing each step right. So I've added the sweetener and stir till it's fully dissolved, and I believe that is. So it says, add the sweet tea mixture to the gallon jar, and that's what we've got here. Make sure it doesn't have the tea on or sugar on the bottom. Looks like it's dissolved. Okay, pretty black tea. Yep, it's all dissolved. Okay, now, exciting. Now it says, and fill with the cool filtered water. Leave enough space to add your culture. So about 3 to 4 inches from the top we'll stop. We probably need just a little bit more tea in that, but I'm going to go ahead and add that first, I believe. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe I should get just a little bit more water. I'll be right back. Okay, I've got just a little bit more. I think we need just a little bit more. We'll try that. So then it tells me the temperature should be between 75 and 85. We'll just see where it's at. And I believe I have a one that's not going to work. So I'm guessing that's what it is. It feels about that temperature. That didn't turn out so good. Gently stir the entire contents of the starter culture into the sweetened tea, and then take a pH balance. Okay, here goes. I sure hope I don't kill it. Now I gotta get it opened. Oh, it's in another bag. So I'm going to need to get a pair of scissors. There's the SCOBY in there. Let me grab another pair of scissors. Okay, here we go, folks. I'm worried because I've never done this. So I'm going to go ahead, pour that in, and let this little SCOBY fall in there. And there it went. It's all in. And I bet I could add just a little more water now to this. Okay. And maybe I should have tried the pH strip first, right? I don't know what I'm doing. What the heck? So if I'm doing something wrong, you'll have to tell me what to do different. And I'm guessing I just take one of these little strips. Maybe I should stir it a little bit too first. But it turned on me right away. It turned. And I would say we're at 4.0, 4.5, and yay, that's exactly where they said. So I'm excited. I got that part right. So all I need to do now is put my little cloth on. Oh, I am so excited. And I will put this on. And usually this room is warm. Out in our main house from our wood stove gets to be 80 degrees out there. So I'm thinking in here is going to be the perfect spot for it. I will probably mark it down on my calendar when I did this. And in 7 days, I will give it a taste and see how much farther we've got to go. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sitting in. But seriously, if you see me do something that I could have done different, or actually just some tips after I get it fermented to the state that I like it, the stage, let me know what else I can do from here. I would like to know, like, if I start drinking this and it gets down low, what do I do then? I want to keep a full jar, and actually I have a 2-gallon jar that has a spigot on it. And I want to be able to eventually get that brewing on my cupboard and keep my big jar with the spigot going. So after I get to this point and I actually get my kombucha going, and I know there's some of you out there, fill me in on what I can do to transfer this over. And as you drink it, what do you do then? Because it's not telling me anything on that, on this. I would have to probably get a book maybe, but you know, if you're a pro at this, give me some tips, give me some hints. I sure would appreciate it, but I got to go keep my eye on that canner out there, the pressure canner. I'm pretty excited. I've got that going. Oh, one more thing I want to show you. If I can get to it. I love toasted marshmallow latte, espresso latte. It's kind of my favorite. And I just thought, I've got a Keurig machine, and I bought some little cups that are an espresso coffee, and I bought this. This is supposed to be, and I'm going to try that, and we might do a video. This is supposed, to be a steamer and a frother. So I'm really excited about this. You pour the milk in, you push the button, and it steams your milk and it froths it up, and I can make my own latte right here on the Homestead. So I'm really excited about trying that. I hope it works as good as I'm expecting it to, and I'll be back maybe later and we'll try this out. I haven't used this for a while. Oh, there we go. We're going to try out my steamer frother. Sorry I'm so noisy because I'm by my pressure canner here and it's still wobbling away. But we're going to try an espresso. I made it strong. And we'll go to the next step. We're going to try that frother. Okay, here we go. We are going to try this. First time right here. If I hit it twice, Oh, it shuts it off. So I want to turn it on. We'll see how that goes. I've got my toasted marshmallow. I'm going to pour me so much in here. I'm not sure. Oops, I guess I need to open this. We've got my hot espresso right there. That milk is heating up, and you can see it's frothing. Let's see. I don't want to pour too much of this in. I wanted just a little bit. It might be too much. I'm not sure. I don't like it really sweet. Uh-oh, too much milk, but I did go under the maximum line, and it's still. So I'm thinking, shut it off right there. Maybe I have to do it manually. And we're going to try this. I'm doing one hand, so. And I bet this comes off. Oh, look at that, guys. Look at that. Oh. I hope this is as good as I'm expecting. Look at all that froth. Oh my goodness. Stir that in. And I've got a straw over here I'm going to grab. Hold on. I want to taste it. Oh yeah. That is the way to go, folks. If you want one at home, I'm liking this little bugger. I won't use as much milk next time, and I'll read again on my directions, but it frothed up that milk. And the espresso from my Keurig machine. Oh my goodness, it's good. Cowboy came in with his little drawer that he just built out of scrap lumber from the shop. We needed something below our filing cabinet to raise it up a little bit, and he just made another drawer. It's going to be really handy. Here's the 7 jars of the ham soup. And as it cools down, it's still bubbling, cooking. These beans are still going to cook and swell up more. But you can see how full those jars got. And right now I've just put in 7 quarts of chili beans with some seasoning. I put in a cup of pinto beans and kidney beans mixed in each jar. I put a cup in. I have added some cumin, I've added some chili powder and some cayenne pepper, and I've also added the canning salt and added hot water, and now I have 7 quarts of chili beans in the pressure canner, excuse me. Cowboy's trying out our new meat slicer. We had a cooked roast, and it was chilled in the refrigerator. And he's cutting our roast beef up. A handy gadget. Here we have our pressure canner going with chili beans in. We've got another close to an hour on that. We've got a little bit of broth from the roast. And over here is our ham and bean soup. And it's still bubbling, still cooking those beans some. Yum. Busy kitchen. I'm headed out to gather eggs. I've had my half a gallon of my shrub from my grapefruit and oranges, and I had added all my rest of the ingredients. I've got some ginger in there. I've added vinegar, water, honey, and it is done. I've tasted it and it's really good. So I'm going to take it over to the root cellar and put it on the shelf over there, and it's going to keep in cold storage for, up to 3 months easily. There we go. I've got the shrub out here, and it's tasty. I can come out here. I need to get some glasses out here for us. And as you can see, Cowboy's got a spoon out here. We've got our extra yogurt out here. We have our cheeses. We've got some extra butter. I got some shredded cheese. I have cabbage from the store. And here's our stash. I've got to unload my mushrooms that I did yesterday. I did 12 little jars of mushrooms, and they'll go onto the shelf. Oh yeah, these will be good. We like mushroom soup, so I can take a couple of these actually and make a cream soup. Here's the chicken, and I've got 13 jars of those quarts. They'll go on the shelf, probably over here next to our meat section over here. I might go around to the corner and put some right there. Looks like the beets, this is what's left of our beets. And I've got my apples wrapped individually right down there in that basket. Not a lot of our squash is left, but everything seems to be keeping really well. Our milk is staying really cold, the orange juice, my extra ginger root right now, my extra lemons. So now it's time to go do chickens, get the eggs. Well, folks, I want to thank you for following me along on the homestead again today. Some of these days, it just goes from one thing to the next, but when we can sit at the end of the day in our recliners, Cowboy and I, and chat, we both have gotten some things accomplished here on the homestead, just one step farther ahead than we were yesterday. That's all any of us can do, is just keep going, keep trying new things. Don't let anything scare you. Just do it. If it's something you want to do, just do it. Read on it, research. And I don't have the recipes for canning. I would rather you would just go to the places that teach you how to really can. This is just me showing you how I do it here on the homestead, and to give you a little encouragement that, if Prairie Girl can do it, you can do it. You can can your own food and put it on the shelf. You know what's in that. And it's just, read your directions and reread them again. Take one step at a time. Don't panic. Just do it. It's so much better for you, and it's nice to have on your shelf, even if you don't have a root cellar like I do. If you've got an extra spare room that you can shut the heat off in and cover the window, that makes a perfect pantry. So just because you don't have a root cellar doesn't mean you can't do something. You may have a basement that has a corner that you can make, its own little separate room and make it colder for the cold storage. Lots that you can do. Everybody can do it. So I'm going to go in. I shut the last of my pressure canner off as I went out the door, and I've got my 7 quarts of chili beans in there, and they'll be ready to come out real soon. And I'll take one more little quick video for you to see what they look like. But 14 more quarts onto my root cellar shelves, and that's pretty good for a Saturday. I wouldn't want to do any more than probably 2 canners. If I didn't have all the other stuff going, I probably could do 3 in a day. But I think 2 for me, with just trying to keep up with all my regular housework and cleaning and laundry and floors, and 2 is about all I want to tackle. So, I'm going to take tomorrow off. It's Sunday. We're going to rest. We're going to enjoy our day. But Cowboy and I are going to sit now this the rest of the day and just look back at what we got accomplished. He even got that little extra drawer built, and it's nothing fancy, but for me, that I don't care. Some people would not allow that, but here on the homestead, when you've got pieces of lumber like that that you can build into a project that helps with your storage or whatever, you know, you do what you do. You use what you got. And that's what it's all about. It's not about looking fancy and, you know, polished up, and it's going to be convenient. It's going to work good. And that didn't take him long to throw that together. So, and we got a lot done today. So take care. Have a great Sunday tomorrow. God bless you. We love you. Bye-bye. Talk to you on the next video.